Imagine this. It's a Saturday morning. Sunlight cutting through the trees, coffee in hand, and you step outside your quiet cabin, the one you built yourself, nail by nail, log by log. A place that's supposed to be your sanctuary. But instead of peace, you see strangers strolling across your yard like it's a guided tour. One points at your porch, another peeks through the windows, and then you spot him, the ringleader. Clipboard tucked under his arm, sunglasses on, a grin that screams, "I'm about to make commission off your life." A realtor, at your cabin. And the kicker? He's not lost or confused. He's there because your HOA, the people who are supposed to maintain flower beds and parking spaces, decided to list your home for sale, without permission, without warning. Just step right in, admire the rustic beams, maybe imagine your flat screen here. How would you react? Because I know mine. Jaw on the floor, checking for hidden cameras. This is the moment where HOAs go from annoying to downright outrageous. But here's the best part. Our homeowner didn't roll over. What came next was one of the most satisfying clapbacks ever delivered to a power-tripping HOA. Meet Daniel, Vietnam veteran, retired firefighter, a man who spent his life running toward chaos most of us run from. He wasn't loud, flashy, or looking for trouble, but back him into a corner? You'd better believe he wouldn't back down. After decades of service, Daniel wanted one thing: peace. He found it in a small cabin on the edge of the woods, a place where mornings smelled like pine needles and wood smoke, where the loudest sound was the fireplace crackle. His dream was simple: chop wood, cast a line in the lake, sip black coffee on the porch, and finally live without anyone breathing down his neck. But fate, or bad luck, had other plans. His perfect cabin technically fell under a homeowners association. At first, Daniel shrugged it off. How bad could they be? Little newsletters, maybe some landscaping rules, nothing he couldn't handle. Oh, Daniel. Big mistake. Within weeks, the letters started. Your rustic fence isn't uniform with community standards. Your American flag is too large for approved dimensions. Your firewood stack is unsightly and violates community aesthetics. Imagine getting fined for stacking firewood, your firewood. But nothing prepared Daniel for the day he opened his door to strangers poking around like it was an open house. Total strangers, gawking at his windows, guided by a realtor invited by the HOA. This wasn't nitpicking anymore. This was trespassing, theft of dignity. This was war. The HOA president was Richard, but neighbors called him Little Napoleon. 5'6", clipboard glued to his hand, and a power complex the size of the Pentagon. Richard's dream was to turn Daniel's rugged log cabin into a cookie-cutter McMansion with white vinyl siding, manicured bushes, and HOA-approved beige shutters. But Daniel's cabin screamed individuality. Logs, stone chimney, rustic charm, the very nightmare of an overbearing HOA. Richard launched Operation Break Daniel. Start small with petty fines, spread gossip about Daniel's property falling apart, and escalate, without Daniel's knowledge, listing the cabin as pre-market. Then came the Saturday morning confrontation. Daniel saw a family strolling through his yard, admiring his home, while the realtor proudly claimed, "The HOA said this place will be available soon." Daniel wasn't just irritated, he was done. Step 1, security. Daniel fortified his gate with steel and welded it shut. Step 2, the message. A massive sign at his gate read, "Private property. Trespassers will be filmed and reported, HOA included." Not subtle, Not polite, perfectly savage. Step 3. Humiliation. A smaller sign below read, "House not for sale." Ask the HOA why they're lying. When the HOA tried the same stunt the next weekend, they froze. The couple in the car looked confused. The realtor went pale. And Richard stormed up in his golf cart, red-faced and furious. Daniel, calm, coffee in hand, letting the sign speak. Daniel didn't stop there. He set up a trail cam. Every awkward retreat, defeated sigh, and tantrum was recorded. Within hours, he uploaded it to the neighborhood's private Facebook group. Neighbors started asking questions. Why is the HOA listing houses they don't own? Who gave Richard that authority? Richard went from feared HOA president to neighborhood punchline. Daniel filed a complaint with the state real estate board. Listing a property you don't own is illegal. The HOA got legal notices, the realtor ran, and Richard got personally fined. Daniel had completely turned the tables. After the chaos settled, the HOA backed off. Daniel restored his life. Boots by the porch, firewood stacked perfectly, flag waving proudly. Neighbors felt empowered, and Richard resigned quietly, humiliated. Daniel's story proves a powerful truth. Even when the system feels rigged, standing up can make a difference. And sometimes it comes with a little satisfaction and a big dose of karma. Stories like Daniel's remind us that no one is truly powerless. Loved seeing HOA bullies get exposed? Share this video with a friend who hates HOAs. Drop your thoughts. Did Daniel go too far, or was it justice served? Comment your own HOA horror story. You might be featured next. This is Daniel's story, an ordinary man, pushed too far, turning an HOA power trip into his ultimate victory. From strangers walking through his living room to welded gates, bold signs, and trail camera justice, Daniel proved no HOA is too arrogant to humble. And stay tuned. Next, you'll hear about a neighborhood that tried to ban Christmas lights. Click the playlist and binge more wild HOA dramas. Hit like if you enjoyed this revenge. Subscribe for new HOA chaos every week. Share your story. Your nightmare could be tomorrow's epic showdown.